Welcome back to the WonderCat channel. Today, for this lovely regulation deck tech, we're going to be playing possibly the coolest way to summon your top end for free. That's right, you heard me, free. Whilst we did cover the whales being able to summon multiple level 5s and swarming the board on as little as 2 memory, this particular list is going to get to your level 6, then play a second one for free. That's right, it's free real estate. So today we're going to be going over Mermukasmon, an interesting Digimon that by today's record, all of its Digivolution line is able to be played within this Pauper regulation format. And I wanted to build a purple-yellow list, so I thought I'd give this one a go. Starting off with our rookies, we're going to be playing 4 copies of BT9 Salamon. This card is the bread and butter of the deck. On play, dig 4, add 1 2-color purple card to your hand, and the bottom deck the rest. If you're playing this on your opening turn and you don't have any of these targets in your hand, you should be seeing just under 2 on average. If I did the math right, it's about 1.7 cards per 4. So even midway through the game, the math will stay about the same since about half the deck is 2-colored purple. She doesn't have any inheritance, but that's okay because we really want her for the on-play effect anyway. Next kid on the block, we're going to be playing 4 copies of BT18 Lylemon. This little guy makes his debut again after starring in the Axel list. This slightly older Lylemon is basically our version of the Kokabuterimon from that same deck. A 3-cost purple-yellow card, so one of many targets for Salamon, and he's the only Digimon that will cost 1 to Digi on an egg, which kind of sucks, but he is an investment Digimon. During your turn, when you would Digivolve him into a 2-color purple or yellow mon, reduce the Digicost by 1. So I should come right out and say that we do have level 3 reanimation shenanigans in this list. Being able to play him for free, then Digivolving for 1 cheaper is pretty gas. The reanimation tricks is also why Salamon shines so well with her on-play effect. A lot of the cards in, the common, uncommon section of this game will usually say, hey, any on-play effects don't trigger. We don't care about those. Lylemon also giving retaliation is decent for the inherited. It's a good inherited too. You can always swing aggressively with your Digimon, having that retail up and not being concerned with your Digimon being destroyed for free on the crackback. Next rookie, we're going to play 3 copies of BT5 Guilmon. This little guy works perfectly in this list. Another vanilla inherited, but on deletion, if he was destroyed due to an effect, gain a memory. This card is also a potential reanimation target for memory gain shenanigans, but other than that, he's just a solid purple Digimon that fits in the deck well. Our last rookie making up 12, 1 copy of the infamous BT8 Psychemon, or Psychemon. Now this one is probably going to be more meta dependent. All turns, players can't reduce play costs. Very strong floodgate effect. With how strong and common Axel is, I'd say you could probably bump this up to 2 and the Guild down to 2. But I think outside some obvious matchups like Excel, it's just kind of the worst level 3 we run all round, so we're just going to play the 1 copy. I also like Psychemon, he looks cool. Onto the champion zone. We're going to start coming into the archetype and the deck's shell. We're going to be playing 4 copies of BT17 Darkmon. This card kind of gives that waifu vibe vague to it, but I'm all for it. The art's sweet. It's awesome. Digivolve for 3. From 3 is pretty expensive, but we also have an alternate cost of 1 if Digivolving on Hippogriffmon, which is a level 5, which is interesting. It does straight up have retaliation though, which is cool, because it only has 5k DP and means it can swing aggressively into big things to delete them. On Digivolve, draw 1, trash 1. Then, if it's got Hippo in its materials, it warps straight up to Mermukasmon for 2. Considering you go from level 5 back to level 4, it jumps you straight to level 6 for 2. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's an interesting line. Very different. The Digivolution costs are definitely on the higher side for this, so we've got to make sure we're playing with our memory efficiently while playing this line. Ideally, we're probably going to want to Digivolve into Darkmon with Lyle, so we can reduce that cost down to 2, which is a solid going rate for our level 4s. Next, 2 copies of BT16 Gatomon. This little guy is also purple-yellow, Digivolves for 3, or 2 with Lylemon, or 2 with an alternate cost Digivolving on top of Salamon. Built-in barrier, which is another good keyword to have. And on play when Digivolving, trash 1 card in your hand to return a level 6 or lower 2-color Digimon card that's red or purple. This ability hits all Digimon we run, as nothing is purely yellow, so Gatomon can help sculpt our hand. Inherited during your turn, reduce an opponent's security Digimon by 3k. We already know how strong this kind of effect can be when we covered our Shumon list, so being able to reduce something by 3k is a reasonable inherited. Split with Gatomon, we're going to be running 2 copies of BT8 Black Gatomon. This guy is run for a couple of reasons. This little Gato has Rush, which means through a couple potential ways, it can be a potential win combo needing that extra swing for game with Rush. It's another purple-yellow card, and more retaliation for our higher level stuff. It's another 3-cost Digi, so we do want to save Lylmon for this too, if we can help it. If it were just a little cheaper to Digivolve, I'd be so much more hyped for this card, but I can't justify every Digi in this deck costing 3, so we're going to reduce memory costs and speed up the deck where we can. Level 5s, 4 copies of BT17 Hippogriffmon. This time an absolute mental 4-cost Digi for 7k DP or 3 with Darkmon. When Digivolving, play a level 3 or purple yellow Digimon card from your hand for free. So, hey, we're starting to see the value in our Salamons being able to throw extra bodies on board. It also has blocker, so Retaliation actually puts in some insane value here, being able to block with Hippogriffmon and always threaten the biggest threat, keeping it in check. Its Inherited also gives our level 6s more potential control power during combat, which is just an added bonus. This card is kind of the crux of this deck. Without Darkmon, it's basically your entire turn to Digi into, though you still get a potential level 3 out of it. But with Darkmon, you have some very fun and interesting lines ahead of you. I do like this card though, being able to play out an extra level 3, making it a bona fide 1-cost Digi, which isn't all that bad once you start to think about it. Or you get it for free with Darkmon. Our other level 5s, we're going to be playing 2 copies of EX6 Bastamon. The Dancing Kato, another 7k body that when Digivolving for a cost of 3, you can play any level 3 purple Digimon from your trash for free. So basically extra copies of Hippo, but it doesn't share the name. Arguably a better summoning effect though, since we are probably guaranteed to have a couple level 3s in trash by the time we play her, versus hoping or keeping one in hand specifically for Hippo. Bastamon also has the ability Scapegoat, protecting her stack whenever should be deleted other than by one of your effects. Delete one of your other Digimon to prevent that deletion. This is also where our Guilmon value comes in. You can always play Guilmon off her when Digivolving, allowing you a 1 memory swing in the event that your opponent tries to kill her off. You can also, of course, play Salamon for extra hand gas or to find a potential removal option. Her Inherited is even more wild. During your opponent's turn, whenever one of their Digimon is deleted, you may play a level 4 or lower purple Digimon from your trash for free. This card is just... every word on it just screams love me. It is so good. Onto our level 6s. We're going to be playing 4 copies of BT17 Mermukusmon, the main combo enabler for this list, the big top end. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has both Darkmon and Hippogriffmon in its materials, by deleting one of your other Digimon, play an Ornusmon from your trash without paying its cost. So not only do we have more deletion-based effects to combo off with our Guilmons, but we can sack Salamon, the Hippogriff summons, from hand after generating value off its on play. Then we get a free level 6 out of it. But who is Ornusmon? Well, we'll get into him shortly. Mermukusmon sits at a reasonable 12k with potential stacks giving it retaliation and blocker, possibly reanimation effects and or security decreases, meaning on swing it's essentially a 15k, which is great for offensive gameplay. All turns, once per turn, when one of your other Digimon are deleted, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the same or lower level than the one that you deleted. So the ideal line goes from Digivolving into Hippogriff. You don't necessarily need Darkmon underneath it. Summoning Salamon or Guilmon, Digivolving back to Darkmon, then Warp Digivolving to Mermukusmon, summoning Ornusmon from trash, deleting your Guilmon or Salamon, deleting an opponent's level 3. Like, what is that line? That is crazy! Like, if you're not warping into it from Darkmon, then it's going to cost you 4 from level 5, or 4 from Darkmon with a Hippo underneath it. The only time this is going to come up is if you don't have a Mermukusmon in hand when Digivolving into Darkmon. So, who or what is this Ornusmon that are big bad summons? Well, we're going to play 2 different versions of it, 2 copies of the BT17 version, a 13k beat stick that on play deletes any Digimon your opponent controls that is unsuspended. Already really solid considering that you're getting this for free with the proper stack underneath Mermukusmon. All turns, as long as you have another level 6 on board, i.e. Mermukus, Ornusmon gets an additional 2k DP and security attack +1. What is this? Just setting up your Mermukusmon and having this Ornusmon engraved, on reanimation we get a 15k 2-check Digimon for free, deleting a level 3 and a potential level 6 or lower Digimon. Like, my god. This card is only played as a 2-of since we're actually looking to pitch it to Grave rather than playing it to, and we're going to later reanimate it. Primarily due to the fact that its effect is purely on play, we don't want to Digivolve into this. Our other Ornusmon is 1 copy of BT6, a 12k body, which is slightly weaker, but on play just outright deletes a level 5 or lower Digimon, regardless on if it is suspended or not, and just inherently has +1 security. So while this has an arguably lower ceiling, its floor is much higher. This is why I've decided to split them rather than just running one or the other. We can hopefully get one of each into the trash, then decide which is more relevant to the situation once we summon Mermukusmon. I love the BT6 art as well. This bird looks sick. But that's our Digimon lineup. It's pretty spicy. I like how the deck looks aesthetic-wise, but we have to get into the options. This deck is fairly expensive, so to make up for the fact that we're going to compensate for that with just as strong and meaningful options that'll keep us in the game. We're going to be starting off with the legendary Reinforcing Memory Boost. 6-drop, 1 copy, because it's limited to 1, we know the drill. This card will keep our security high, and throwing other potentially strong options into our security, or even an Ornusmon to make sure that whatever they swing with dies, and he makes it into our trash, is just too good. Of course, it's the only memory boost that, when delayed, we gain 3 memory, so it's got to be an auto-include. Next, 3 copies of our favourite yellow removal option, Heaven's Judgment. I can never seem to find space to run the full 4 copies, but it's just too good not to run. Imagine that. 7-cost spell basically wipes the board, giving us potential -6 3 times on board as long as we control 2-color Digimon. When hit in security, -12k something, which is often going to kill your opponent's level 6 or whatever they're swinging with next. Already labelled it the best removal option in the game. We're going to be playing yellow, so it's going to be in the list. Next, 4 copies of BT16 Thunderflame Crusher. This card is a gambler's dream. Well, it's definitely meant to be used in a Pulsemon deck, but it fits this one's colours perfectly well and can be hit off Salamon, which gives it added value. When this card would be used, by trashing cards from the top of your security stack up to having 3 left, reduce the cost by 2 for each card trash. What this means is, if you're at 5 security, drop yourself down to 3, making it cost 2, drop yourself down to 2, free casting it. While you're on 2 security, drop yourself down to 0. You just can't be above 3 when resolving this reduction effect. Its main effect, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Then, if you have 2 of your security, place this card at the bottom of your security stack. So realistically, we're casting this at 5 security, going down to 2 for free, to free cast it, putting us back up at 3 security, or from 4 security going down to 1, going back up to 2. You can, of course, go from 3 security down to 0, going back up to 1, but it would honestly depend on your memory constraints on the turn and if your opponent threatens game with a couple of swings. You just got to read the board, Context is key. So this card is being able to put itself back into your security when checked, gives a neg 15k to an opponent's Digimon. Just means it's going to pretty much clear anything that's not using like Alliance. It's another 4 copies of Heaven's Judgment. We could potentially free cast and can be searched off Salamon. It's a really cool card and can put in massive work. The next of our many potential draw engines, 3 copies of Mist Memory Boost. Like previously stated, the deck is particularly memory hungry, so any amount of extra memory we can generate is a bonus. 3 costs on play, mill 2, draw 1. It's just the perfect card for this deck. Mill 2, then draw a card. Throw our level 3s into the trash for later, or our Ornusmon. We get card draw and an additional 2 memory on a later turn. 4 copies of this would also be fine, but I wanted a bit more variety usage in our options, so we're going to set this at 3 copies. Our next option, 1 copy of Night Raid. Wait. Night Raid? Night Raid? Oh my god. This card is very old. From BT2. A 2-cost option, when played, plays any level 3 purple Digimon from your trash. It's on-play effects don't activate. So this is what I was talking about earlier. So this is a really solid combo piece for Lylemon, being able to play it for 2, then Digivolving into Black Gato for 2, being able to swing with Rush. You can also summon your Guilmon off this if you have other delete effects installed during this turn or on the following turn. It's a cool card, I think it's worth a slot. Our last option, 1 copy of Jack Raid, the more infamous and much more well-known raid card. Limited to 1, gain 1 memory for every 10 cards in your trash. We have so many draw and trash effects in this deck that we will inevitably end up with a large amount of resources in there, so Jack Raid just feels like it fits in home here. Security check, you gain 2 memory, which is just hilarious, especially if your opponent has gone to 0 or less memory and swings into us. This card can just end their turn. Onto our Tamers, it's just going to be the playset of Violet in Boots, BT18. A memory setter, during the turn of your main phase, you can pitch an option to draw a card. Whilst we like the majority of our option cards, this could definitely help us get into our Darkmon line easier and allows us to pitch Jack Raid if we draw it too early or if our hand is full of Thunderflame Crusher. Lastly, our Ego, 4 copies of BT6 Sunomon. Once per turn, whenever you would trash a card from your hand with one of your effects, draw a card. Now, Violet will trigger this every turn, Darkmon will trigger this, Gatomon will trigger this. It's just another way to keep our hand advantage. This deck feels like a traditional control deck. You have so many bomb security effects. Your opponent's gonna they're gonna concede any prayer that they have that their Digimon that they're swinging with is going to live, because it's not. It really isn't. You have enough high cost level 6s. You have your Heaven's Judgments. You have your Thunder Flame Crushers. Oh my gosh. That nothing they swing with is gonna live. This deck has it all: big threats, reanimation, grindy kind of gameplay. It might be a little slow, but I think it definitely has enough responses and options that to control the board that it's gonna put in work, and it's just fun. It's fun to play. As usual, the deck list is going to be on the screen for you guys. Let me know how it plays out for you, and if you do build it, of course. I had fun throwing it together and testing it out. Don't forget to like, share, and sub, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta!